I've watched hundreds of business channels launch on YouTube. The ones that actually blow up and get clients, they're doing 5 things, much differently than everyone else. So if you've been posting videos, putting in the work, but your channel still isn't turning into the client machine you thought it would be, it's probably not your editing or your camera or how awkward you think you look. So today I'm gonna break down the 5 things that my 6-figure students are doing on YouTube that almost no one else does, and I'm gonna show you real examples of each one so you can see exactly what this looks like in practice. So let's start with the one that has the single biggest impact on whether a video takes off or dies on day one. You're not losing to better creators. You're losing to better ideas. Every video you make has a max number of people who are ever gonna watch it. And that max is set by the idea, not your camera or even how good your teaching is. But most businesses spend just 5% of their time on the idea and then 95% on execution. That's completely backwards. They ask themselves, what do I know a lot about? Or what do my clients need to see? And then they film that. Sounds logical, but it leads to ideas that are either too confusing for anyone to want to watch, or they're just too flat for anyone to care. Joanna Weeb's a copywriting expert, and she's been on YouTube for years, but she only recently really took off. And the reason's pretty clear when you look at what she did before and what she's doing now. Look at her older videos and these titles, trying to break into a market with a known leader, try this value, ... and could your next high converting message be buried on your blah, blah, blah. And those videos were getting about 1,000 to 2,000 views each. So I'm honestly asking, when you read those titles, do you have any idea what you're getting from those videos? The ideas are just kind of confusing, right? Now, look at her newer ideas. How to articulate your thoughts more clearly than 99% of people. That's got 180,000 views. The top 7 content strategies to get ahead of everyone else, 310,000 views. And the day you stop chasing original ideas, everything changes, 280,000 views. Over 100 times the views she was getting before. Now these titles do 2 things that the others before didn't. They're instantly clear, right? You know exactly what you're getting, and they lead with a result that people actually want, not jargon. Things like communication, clarity, standing out. These are outcomes that any of her students would want. I call this the idea ceiling, right? The invisible cap on how far any video can go, set entirely by the quality of the idea. I can tell you from experience, the idea is the single biggest factor in whether a video hits or it flops. Bigger than the thumbnail, and believe it or not, bigger than the content itself. And the fix is free. Just spend twice as long on your idea and your angle as you currently do. And honestly, if we're taking that a step further, spend twice as much time on your ideas brainstorm as you do on writing the rest of the video. It's that important. And by the way, if you want my full system for turning your channel into a client machine, I've got a free masterclass called How to Get Unlimited Clients from YouTube, and the link to that is down below in the description. Okay, so now once you've got people watching with the right ideas, the next question is, why should they trust you over the 50 other channels teaching the same thing? This one move alone separates all the channels that get watched from the channels that actually get hired. The ones who do it wrong fall into what I call the textbook trap, as in they teach their topic like they're a textbook, general advice and best practices, and the information might be perfectly solid, but it sounds exactly the same as what 10 other channels are saying. There's nothing in the video that tells the viewer you actually do this work and get real results for real people. So they watch, maybe learn something useful, but never once do they think of you as someone they would actually hire. And that's because you sound like a teacher, not like a true expert who does this for money. Now compare that to a channel like Bobby K Designs. It's a landscaping channel, but he doesn't just teach landscaping tips. He shows real projects that he did for real clients on camera. You see the yard before, you see what he did, and you see the finished result. So you know this guy actually does the work and the planning behind it. You stop thinking of him as a YouTuber and you start thinking of him as someone you'd actually want to hand your backyard over to. And here's what's interesting. Most business owners have case studies and testimonials and proof, but they bury it all on their website where only a fraction of people ever see it. Bobby, on the other hand, he puts it in his content, which means thousands more people see the proof before they ever hit a sales page. The case study is the content. So when you weave real case studies into your videos, whether it's client results or student results or even your own results, you get 3 benefits at once. Proof, you're showing you've actually done the work. You're teaching from lived experience, not just research. And that matters now more than it ever has because YouTube is absolutely flooded with these creators who just repackage what other people are saying. And honestly, we can go ahead and 10x that now because all your competitors have a free ChatGPT subscription. Your viewers can literally feel the difference between someone who's done the thing and someone who's read about the thing and thinks they know enough about it to talk about it now. Benefit 2 is memory. I could have just told you to, position yourself as the expert and you'd forget that in 10 minutes. But if I show you how Bobby turned his landscaping channel into a client pipeline by filming real projects, that image stays. It's memorable. People forget tips, but they remember stories. And the third benefit is sales, and this is the business piece, right? Every case study is a subtle demonstration that you work with people for money. You're not just a free content machine floating around on the internet. You're the guy or girl who delivers results and gets paid for it. And the viewer is gonna connect those dots on their own, which means you never even have to pitch. The story does it for you. And even your own results count here. So if you don't have a bank of client success stories yet, a simple, here's what I did for myself and here's what happened, is already more proof than what 90% of business channels are providing right now. But even if you've got great ideas and you're backing them with real proof, there's still one thing the channels that actually blow up in your space all do. And doing it's way easier than you think. So here's the issue. Whatever your niche is, the information you're sharing probably isn't unique to you. If you teach marketing, there are 1,000 channels teaching marketing. If you teach fitness, there are 10,000. And when 5 different channels are all saying the same thing the same way, none of them stand out. You all kind of swirl together in the viewer's mind, but that's not a content quality problem. That's a packaging problem. You may have heard of Donald Miller and his story brand framework. He's got books, courses, a YouTube channel, pretty much a whole business empire that's built on it. But here's what most people don't realize. Story brand, as good as it is, it's essentially just the hero's journey. It's his storytelling concept that's been around since the Roman Empire, probably. So he took it, repackaged it, and rebranded it for a modern audience of business owners and marketers, and really made it his. He didn't invent a new idea here. He gave an old idea a new name and a clear structure and purpose. And Ramit Sethi did the exact same thing with his rich life concept. The core idea is just spend money on what you love, cut what you don't. Guess what? That's basic budgeting advice, but by wrapping it in a memorable name, people can grab onto it, and it became the thing that he's known for. So neither of these were radical innovations, they were existing ideas turned into unique, brandable IP. And that's exactly what you should do too. So here's how it works. You just take what you already know and what you already teach, and you package it up in a way that's easy to remember and feels like it belongs to you. Give it a name, give it a structure, steps, a framework, an acronym, whatever fits the idea best. When you do that, you stop just being another channel that teaches X, and you become the person who created the fill-in-the-blank super cool framework. That sits in a completely different position in the viewer's brain. Nobody can copy a named framework without looking like a cheap knockoff of you, and once you start inspiring cheap knockoffs, congratulations, you've made it to the big leagues. So in your next video where you're gonna teach something, give that concept a name or an acronym that people can remember. Maybe even draw it out as a framework that only you have. And the coolest part of this is you don't even have to do it alone. AI is actually really good at this. So if you feed it your core concepts and ask it to help you name and structure a framework, it's gonna surprise you. You still need to bring the expertise and the real world experience, but AI can help you find the packaging way faster than you could staring at a blank page. And I actually have the perfect prompt that's gonna help you turn that idea into a named framework, so just get that in the description below. Now, everything we've talked about so far is about what you put into your videos, but there's one strategic decision about your channel as a whole that's gonna decide if viewers trust you enough to become clients, and getting it wrong is one of the fastest ways to kill that trust. So I want you to think of your YouTube channel like an ATM. Before you can take any money out, you have to make deposits first. Every genuinely useful video that asks for nothing in return, that's a deposit. Every pitch, every check out my program, every hard sell, that's a withdrawal. And on YouTube, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. You need to deposit 5, maybe 10 times before you've earned a single withdrawal. But way too many business channels treat every video like it's a sales pitch, which means they're trying to withdraw from an empty account. The problem isn't that they're selling. The problem is they haven't earned it yet. I call this your trust balance, the ratio of how much you give away versus how much you ask for in return. And I know that may scare you, right? If you teach everything on YouTube, why would anyone ever pay you? I hate to break it to you, but between Google and YouTube, and now with AI especially, information is already free and really easy to find. What people will pay you for is not the information. It's either you doing the work for them or the streamlined start to finish roadmap. The structure, the accountability, the community, the A to Z implementation path. A 12-minute YouTube video can't really deliver those things no matter how good it is. So teach everything. Give away your best frameworks, your best strategies, your best advice. The more you give, the more your viewers are gonna think, if this free stuff is this good, what would actually working with you look like? That's the reaction you want. That's a big old deposit that you can withdraw from later. Then after you've been teaching all this good stuff, then you can do a direct call to action where you tell people how they can work with you roughly every 4th or 5th video. And in the rest of your videos, just point people to the next video they should watch next. Let them binge and build the relationship. All right, this is the one people resist the hardest, but the ones who actually do it, they're the ones who outgrow everyone else. There are business owners who've been on YouTube for years and their channel still isn't working for them. Then there are the people who show up and within 6 months, they're getting clients from every video. And the difference comes down to whether they tried to figure it all out alone or whether they invested in someone who could show them the shortcut. Now, I've personally invested in all kinds of things as an entrepreneur. Courses, cohort programs, coaches, consultants, pretty much everything you can think of. Here's what actually worked. So the courses where it was just me watching videos on my own, I learned stuff, right? But whether I watched them was totally up to me. Honestly, not all that different from free videos on YouTube. But the moment I paid for something where I actually had to show up, where I'd already spent the money and it would have felt wasteful not to use it, that's when I showed up differently. I actually did the work and my business moved forward. Because the thing is, when something's free, you feel free to dabble, right? When you've paid for it, you commit. So if you're going to invest in your channel, and I think you should, look for something with real accountability built into it. Coaching, whether it's on your own or in a small group, or a mastermind, or getting a consultant. Whatever gets you to actually show up and do the work instead of just consuming more information on repeat. And think about it this way, if you're billing hundreds of dollars an hour, every month you spend making the wrong videos, that costs you way more than any program would. You're not saving money by going it alone. You're spending your most expensive resource, your time, on a strategy that just isn't working. So now you know the 5 things that separate the successful business channels from the rest. But if you want my entire system for actually turning your channel into a steady stream of clients, I do have a free masterclass that walks you through the whole thing. It's called How to Get Unlimited Clients from YouTube, and it's the deepest training that I've ever put out on this, start to finish. So click right here to watch it, and I'll see you there, and I can't wait to share all this good stuff with you.